Hi, I'm Candace.
And I'm Ripley.
And I'm John.
And this is Comicsplaining.
The show where konnichiwa, we're back in hell.
No.
Hell continues.
Hell does continue.
This time with a sad Wolverine looking down at his hands?
Yeah, I like this cover. The use of negative space is really cool.
Yes, Shadow.
Sad, sad Wolverine. He's lost his waifu.
His hair looks stupid, but then it usually does, so that's fine.
That's just par for the course.
That's just how he looks.
So, can you guys tell me what happened last time?
So we read one issue of X-Men, I think.
Yeah, and...
Kitty was being kind of annoying.
Uh-huh.
Which she's been doing a lot lately.
Puberty, man.
It's hitting hard at this point, I guess.
Apparently.
Yeah.
I am...
And Ileana was also there.
Oh yeah, Rogue shows up.
Rogue, that's what it was.
Rogue shows up, and she's got regrets.
Yeah. She wants to start a redemption arc.
Yeah, and
that causes problems.
Yeah, at first they're like, no, except for the professor's like, yes, in fact, we forgive her. And then Carol shows up, and she's like,
I don't forgive her.
No.
No one asked me
to
how
Orbit,
I
we say.
feel about it.
To Orbit, we say.
Yeah.
And which Rogue is like, who did that? And
Whomst?
Carol stops being binary for a hot second. And
You're telling me she becomes non-binary?
Yeah.
Yes.
And we respect her choices.
Uh-huh. And Rogue is like, oh.
Tug's collar.
Yikes.
Yikes. Okay, I deserve that punch. I deserved it. But the X-Men who were about to walk get talked out of it by Chuck.
Carol's, yeah.
Still walks because fuck this shit, I'm out. If you're not with me, you're my enemy.
See, I don't know if it's that so much as, are you gonna stay and live in this house with this fucking woman?
I mean, there's that, but also...
Because, I mean, that's where she's been staying, is it not?
Yeah. As far as we know.
But also, if they forgave Rogue, Carol did not forgive Rogue.
I don't know if they forgave Rogue.
Chuck says...
No. They agreed to give her a chance at forgiveness.
Chuck said that she was forgiven.
Well, that's just Chuck. That's not everyone.
That's true. And I suspect Aurora has some things to say about that, given how she was kind of wibbly-wobbly about the whole thing at the end.
Yeah. But, they decided to basically give her a danger room test? Yeah?
What?
I don't know.
They went...
When she was under examination, they went into the danger room.
They went into the danger room
because they felt like punching stuff.
Right. Of course.
That's it.
Well,
that's not it.
That's
not it.
That's all that happened. Nothing else. Oh yeah, Ileana did kind of remember things.
Well, no, she had a PTSD flashback. Because she was programming the danger room scenario, but accidentally programmed Belasco and a bunch of demons.
Somehow, someone put in all the parameters for
her trauma.
For Limbo, I guess. Someone must have been taking a lot of pictures.
And she just had, literally...
The mother of all freakouts?
Literally got triggered and had a PTSD flashback.
Which involved a sword and red eyes.
And red eyes. And Kitty stopped her. And then everyone was fine.
I didn't note it in the episode, but the sword just vanished after that.
Yes, it did.
Well, it also kind of just appeared from nowhere, so...
Yep.
And the hilt looks like a lightsaber.
It sure did. It looked exactly like a lightsaber. I did not bring it up when we were recording, but I was sitting here like, that doesn't look like...
Yeah.
It looks
That's
like...
not magic sword. That's a lightsaber.
That is straight up a lightsaber. That's a lightsaber-ass lightsaber.
Yeah.
So
I couldn't avoid it when I was editing. So.
Alright,
And then Wolverine went to Japan chasing after his waifu. He loses a sword fight. He picks up I don't know what the woman to call the woman that
Yukio.
picks him up.
Yukio.
He picks up a Yukio.
She's a lot.
Yeah, I noticed. She's actually like working both sides, it seems.
Yeah.
For her own side, Wolverine goes and saves his waifu, but in putting the bear shirt on,
yeah, he kills a guy in front of her, and she's
he kills 47 Ronin in front of her.
It's a little bit of a
Yeah.
Not to mention the fact that when they were fighting, that first guy that they fought, he slashed him and he fell in Mariko's lap, splattering her with blood.
Yeah, he did do that. And
that is a bit traumatic.
And then the man just continues to put his bear shirt on and,
tear through some motherfuckers.
Yes.
I mean, it was either that or let them kill his waifu and probably him, so...
Yeah.
I can't super blame him.
But
it was a lot.
It was a lot,
The
and
waifu,
it's understandable.
The waifu can't deal, and she just leaves.
Her and her stupid fucking hair that makes no sense.
Uh-huh.
I hate it so much. Yeah, and...
It's actually really easy to summarize the Wolverine stuff, for some reason, because I realized not a lot actually happens in these.
They fought some ninjas.
Yeah, they fought
Didn't
some
skip
ninjas.
that.
Of course they did.
They fought some ninjas. And now we've covered it.
Yep.
There's not a lot of stuff, actual individual things that happened in these.
Well, we missed some things.
There were some details, but, like, I don't know.
But
close enough, I guess.
Right, we don't have to go over everything.
I mean, do we need to go over this with a backhoe? Because I can start digging.
No, we don't have to do that. Instead, we're going to start off with Wolverine number 3 from August of 1982, written by Chris Claremont, penciled by Frank Miller, inked by Joe Rubinstein, colored by Glynis Wein, lettered by Tom Orzechowski, with a cover by Frank Miller.
You know, I'll say it. Frank Miller is a decent artist.
Decent?
Yes. He's pretty good.
Yeah. He's kind of...
He's kind of okay, actually.
Kind of okay.
I've heard that.
Yeah, I've heard it too. It's, I don't know, it's kind of a hot take. I feel like it might not go over well.
Yeah,
Socials.
It's
Scholar.
a bit of a hot take.
Oh my god. I'm so sorry to derail, but I just reminded myself. The other day at work, I work at a school, and I walked in and I heard a conversation between two students where one of them said, "I gotta get your socials," and then the other one replied, "Like security number?" So
Beautiful.
Kids are a lot. Kids are great.
That's beautiful.
Anyway, go on. Tell me about Wolverine.
Actually, I'd rather hear more about the kids. It's probably going to be more interesting.
Grr.
Oh, no.
Sumo, suddenly.
Logan is the best at what he does.
Oh, no.
But what he does right now is drunkenly throw down with sumo wrestlers because Japan. If we had a stereotypical Japanese bingo board, by now you'd have one for sure.
Yeah.
This big one on his back, Takahashi, is something of a big deal in the backroom bar fight circuit. An undefeated champion. Takahashi's about to learn this little guy's got a little more in the tanks than the Sumotori was counting on.
Ugh.
To the watching crowd's amazement, Logan hefts TK's bulk overhead. The sumo isn't pleased about this, and here's where his reputation as a cheat comes into play. He decks Logan square in the nose, trying to prevent himself from losing. It only gets him chunked through a window. There to watch the commotion and waiting outside when Logan and Yukio emerge is Wolvie's old friend Asano, puffing away on a pipe. They may not have parted on the best of terms last time, but he needs Wolverine's help. The Japanese government has become aware of a unification of the criminal underworld,
Oh, dear.
the head of which has designs to take over the country.
Cool.
Which the funny thing is that way more achievable for, say, Japan than the United States.
He asks Logan's help, but Yukio too calls to him. Literally pulled in two directions, he shrugs off Asano, deciding, not my circus, not my monkeys. And he and Yukio walk off into the night.
Great.
Wow.
Unbeknownst to them, another metric fuck-ton of ninjas watch them, all clumped together up on their perch, waiting for the opportune moment to strike.
This is just where the hand nests.
The roost.
Yes, this is just a roost of hand ninjas.
Oh my god, I do like this page, though. Again, with the negative space.
Yeah, he's
Frank
okay.
Miller actually knows how to use negative space.
He does. He also knows how to use positive space. And he knows how to take advantage of motion, though I wish Chris would let it be a little less wordy sometimes.
Comics
I know.
still aren't quite to that point yet.
I know it's going to be like another decade or two before they really master the art of just letting
Not talking.
Yes, just letting the pictures tell the story.
Yeah.
See, I don't know. It depends on which approach you like. I really like all this. But he is a wordy motherfucker.
But
It's not that...
It's not inappropriate.
No. We're not saying there's not a time to be wordy. What we're saying is there are times to just let the art speak for itself.
Yeah. And I don't think Chris realizes you can do that.
Well,
to be fair, because with the
technology doesn't always allow them to do that.
That's true. To be fair, I'm not sure a lot of the artists he's worked with, or anyone's worked with at this point, know that they can do that.
And also, Stan pioneered a lot of this art form, and he was very much not.
And words over pictures is how he pioneered the art form.
Yeah.
His version. So much words over art.
So, you know.
So going against Stan is
It is
hard.
what it is.
The pair find their way to a set of train tracks where the drunken Logan loses his balance, falling against Yukio. With his weight, it's no shock she can't support him. And so, laughing, the pair fall to the ground.
On the train tracks.
That's not safe. This is how people die in Japan.
This is Yukio's secret place. She's never brought anyone here before.
To the train tracks?
Yeah.
Logan's still not catching on as Yukio kisses him, explaining that they have to wait until the last moment and then leave.
Okay, so this is an active set of train tracks. Cool.
In his drunken state, Logan's slow, groggy, way slower than the bullet train currently barreling down the tracks at 200 miles an hour.
Guys,
Well, the good news is he's the best at what he does.
The bad news is the bad news is they may have damaged the tracks a little, and that could damage the train. Those things move fast enough that glass bottle could cause problems.
Yeah.
But he's not so slow that he doesn't catch on just in time to react, doing what he does best, moving he and Yukio out of the way of the speeding train just in time.
And if he didn't, he'd have fucked up that train real good.
After watching his long life play out in front of his eyes for like half an hour,
God.
Our hero demands answers, wanting to know whether Yuks has a death wish, and...
The answer is yes. Was that not obvious? I figured that was obvious.
She wants to die a noteworthy death. And I guess getting splattered by a bullet train counts.
I mean,
sure.
It would be spectacular.
I guess.
It would be even more spectacular to have Wolverine's skeleton slam through the front end of that train.
God.
But by the time she's finished her explanation, drunk Logan's already back on his way to La La Land. Beside the tracks this time.
That's good.
His sleep isn't a dreamless one. He dreams of an ancient armor-clad warrior, a rough character, but his skill is the word of legend.
And it's all Japanese.
And so he has come here to claim the heart of his beloved Mariko. And he'll face however many archers they want to bar the fences with. The answer is so many.
Roughly so many.
Roughly.
Dozens.
The warrior fights like hell, triumphant in that he makes his way past the archers. Less so in that he looks like a human pincushion on the verge of death. He's barely able to drag himself into the courtyard to behold the cruel smile of his beloved. Mariko is unyielding, finding him little more than a beast as she draws back the string of her own bow and then releases it, the arrow hitting home and sending his valiant heart to the pits of blackness. As Logan sleeps, out in the real world, the Hand have seized on their opportunity, ambushing Yukio again. That whole, you were supposed to kill Wolverine thing is catching up with her.
Yeah.
But they offer to give her one last chance. If she kills Logan here and now, all is forgiven. She protests that he's a pain in the ass to kill, and she's going to need her knives if she's going to cut out his heart like they suggest.
Well, no, she's going to use her fingernails and rip it out, but unfortunately, his skin keeps healing each time she cuts. Whoops.
So no one reacts when Ukes pulls her throwing knives from her boot. At least not until she throws them, downing 3 of the 5 ninjas in one go.
Neat.
With one more smooth motion, Yukio dispatches the last 2 ninjas and hurries to Logan's side to try and shake him awake. Blearily, he burbles Mariko's name, and that is the last straw for Ukes.
Fucking rip.
She kicks him in the face and leaves him lying among the dead as she heads for the hills.
Yeah, because Yukio is, like, kind of obsessed with him and trying to force a love triangle that he doesn't seem particularly interested in.
Yeah.
He's participating now because he's sad.
Of course.
It's depression, okay?
She heads for the hills, or Logan's hotel room. Where she changes into a catsuit, figuring out her next move.
Changes into a fucking black morph suit.
Fucking void over here.
She's kind of fucked. It's looking like she's gonna get that death wish after all. Hyper alert right now, her ears immediately latch on when she hears someone fiddling with the door. It clicks open, casting a beam of light into the darkened room, silhouetting the gun-wielding man on the other side. Unaware Yukio already has her throwing spikes at the ready. Logan eventually stomps his way back to his hotel room, sore and surly, but mostly worried. The Hand should be done with Yukio after Katsuyori's death, so why are they still pursuing her? He opens the door and then freezes on sensing the body sprawled just inside, his old friend Asano. After a moment, he finally enters, crouching over his friend's corpse to play CSI Logan again.
Note to self, find the scream and edit it in.
He spots one of Yukio's knives in his neck, and then the Who is solved. Speaking of the Who. Though he's still hoping it's an accident. Pulling out the spike to examine it, he then catches a familiar scent. That nerve poison he first encountered when he went to see Mariko. Suddenly it all clicks home. All along, it's been Yukio, playing him like a fiddle. And she's stupid enough to still be caught standing at the scene of the crime.
Genius.
Logan gives her one shot to take him out, but Yukio's heart isn't in it. Instead, she runs, plunging through the window. They're not that high up, I guess. She's fine.
Cool.
Yeah, she can just...
Well, she's a ninja, so obviously she's...
Yes, that's how ninjas work.
Perfect and everything.
That's how ninjas work. I get it.
She's fine for now, anyway. She's got a pissed-off Wolverine on her tail, after all, and he follows right behind.
This page is cool, too. Again, with the negative space.
That Frank Miller guy, he's kind of good, actually.
Hot take. And so they go, bounding across the rooftops of Tokyo. Yukio's good. Logan's mad now that he sees how he's been played and how his dear friend Asano has paid the price. And so he never loses her. Indeed, on the last rooftop, he whips Yukio's throwing knife back at her. The blade sinking deeply into her shoulder, finally throwing off her sure-footed flight through the night, sending her crashing through the skylight below. Impressively enough, she still manages to land in the Zen garden below with a degree of grace, crouching low to pull the blade from her shoulder as she lands. There are 6 more blades coming for her soon. But when Logan arrives, she just peers up at him, inquiring if her time has come. He pops his claws, and seemingly, yes, it has. But Ukes isn't done speaking up. She doesn't think he can do it. They're kindred spirits. To kill her would be like killing himself.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I don't necessarily think that would be difficult for him, to be completely honest.
I wonder if he's tried. He seems like the kind of depressive person that would think about that kind of thing.
Sorry to get dark.
He sees her point, but at this moment in his self-destruction, he doesn't care.
Yeah.
Raising his claws high, only to take an arrow through the meat of the forearm.
Yikes.
Ow.
There are a lot of sensitive structures in there. It's the hand, quickly snaring him with cables to restrain him while their fellows move in for the kill.
They might actually pull it off for once. Can they hold out?
Nice try!
No, they can't.
That only gives Wolverine more weapons to use against the ninjas, pulling some of his attackers off balance and tripping others. In fact, it's not long at all before he's totally free to julienne these fools. So he unleashes his usual whoop-ass on the hand until all of his attackers lie dead. But Logan's not pleased with himself. Yukio's gone, and the peace of the garden has been disrupted, the stones scattered willy-nilly. He likens the garden to his life. His best attempts at serenity always meet with failure. Yukio's philosophy is not to fight what he is, but Mariko wants him to be better. Now he's lost them both, and the best he can do is just smooth out the patterns in the stones and try again.
Hey, Logan, what about what Scott and Professor X think about you, and don't you care about that at all? No?
They're not. He does, but they're not here right now. So his lack of object permanence.
I see.
It's just not prioritizing that.
If he doesn't spend enough time around someone, he forgets they exist.
Yeah.
That's why his past is a mystery to him.
Exactly.
And try again he will, but this time as a man. He's coming back for a rematch to topple Lord Shingen.
That's gonna go well.
Yeah.
How do y'all like that?
It was better than the first 2.
It was.
I mean, there was still a little bit of cringe, but that's gonna happen throughout this whole series. So, like, you know, not judging it based on that, I would honestly give it a 4. It was enjoyable.
That Frank Miller guy and his art.
Then a 3.75.
Sure. I'll be more than a 3.5.
How do you think? What do you think CMRO thought?
4.2?
4.5.
4.22.
Holy shit, John.
I don't look these things up when I do that. I swear.
Next up is Wolverine number 4 from August of 1982, written by Chris Claremont, penciled by Frank Miller, inked by Joe Rubinstein, colored by Lynn Varley, and lettered by Tom Wojciechowski with a cover by Frank Miller.
Oh, hey, he found the Half-Life crossbow.
That scope seems...
Yes, that's
not optimally placed.
That's why it's the Half-Life crossbow. It has a scope. I've never seen...
Well, it's just that the scope is pointed directly at the fletching of the bolts, which
it's fine.
Seems like it would be not
It's
useful.
fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
In the dark night, 2 men meet, briefcases in hand for a transaction, unaware that the Wolverine lurks in the shadows.
This is a cool page.
Watching. He waits until the men swap cases. 10 kilos of smack for a briefcase of money. Now, I don't know if that's a good deal, but neither man is going to leave this swap happy. With the trade made, Logan moves in, claws slicing at both cases, their contents scattering on the breeze. He doesn't kill the men, though. No, they're to pass on a message to Lord Shingen. Let him know Wolverine is coming. And Logan doesn't leave it at that. Indeed, the Axeman has a busy night ahead of him, doing much of the same throughout Shingen's criminal organization, leaving wreckage and terrified crooks in his wake. Up in Agarashima, Shingen is livid, and his lieutenants are concerned that this will destroy all loyalty his gang holds to him. Still, he's got his best ninja on the job. That's when one of his assistants arrive with a package.
Is it his best ninja?
Inside, what else but a pile of ninja hoods? It doesn't help his temper any, but Shingen knows what he has to do. First he calls for the hand, then he steels himself for the inevitable confrontation to come, this time bound and determined to kill Logan.
Good luck with that.
Back in his hotel room, sans Asano's corpse now, Logan too prepares for the siege of the Yoshida household, kitting up with all the discarded weaponry left behind when he beat those ninjas.
Okay, so we're using their weapons against them.
Cool.
Back in the Yoshida compound, Mariko sits surrounded by her family heirlooms.
With her stupid hair again. It's worse this time.
Maybe it gets worse the worse she feels.
Every time she feels bad, she sticks in another pair of chopsticks.
In a completely random place.
The family history room of the clan Yoshida.
Yeah, everybody has a family history
Is
room.
this a thing? I've never heard of this.
She's there, surrounded by family heirlooms, praying to her ancestors for guidance. At the thought of her father's evil and the dishonor it brings on their house, she is so deeply ashamed that she sheds a single tear as she begs for help. Outside the home, one of the hand assassins guarding the perimeter notices something. No dogs. The guard dogs are all dead.
No!
Not the puppers.
But before he has a chance to raise the alarm, 3 of Yukio's throwing spikes sink deep into his back, sending him to join the unfortunate canines.
Those poor dogs.
It wasn't their fault.
They were just being dogs.
They were doing their job.
They're dogs.
Wolverine wouldn't have done this.
No.
Wolverine already didn't do this.
Exactly. He had the opportunity to do that and didn't.
Seemingly in the clear now,
They
Yukio begins scaling the wall, but several more ninjas watch her ascent. They still don't want her dead, though. Shingen wants her brought in alive. So rather than firing an arrow, the hand instead fire a net, snaring the wild one for their lord.
Well, looks like it works.
I mean, nets are pretty effective, to be honest.
Inside, Mariko hears the commotion of the ninjas bringing Yukio before Shingen, but her father bids her to stay to learn a lesson. He has no more words for his daughter, instead turning to Yukio, who curses him for his interference in she and Logan's relationship.
Wow. Yeah, she's the one interfering, yes.
They weren't bothering him or his plans, but to Shingen that doesn't matter. She was given an order.
Yeah.
Biyuks cares little for orders. She's her own woman. The lord of the house draws one of the wild one's throwing knives, holding it before her face as he demands to know why she sought his life. As repayment for Asano's, it turns out.
'Cause fuck you.
With a swift motion, Shingen slices the blade through the air, cutting Yukio's bonds. He liked that answer, or at least liked the moxie of it enough to give her a fair crack at him. But her best just isn't good enough. Even without a sword this time, Shingen kicks her ass around the room until Mariko rushes forward, grabbing at his arm, worried that he'll kill her if he doesn't stop now.
And for a second there, I thought he was taking a photo with a old aughts camera phone. Just kind of crouching down. Snap.
Got your ass.
This one's going on the gram.
This phone can't access the gram.
In the 80s?
Yes, 1980s Instagram.
Yeah.
That gram.
Yeah, you know.
But no, it's a radio.
Walkie-talkie.
Anyway, in the commotion, one of the security posts calls in over the radio. It's enough to get Shingen to at least momentarily stop, but when he calls back, no one answers.
Oh, rip.
Yeah,
And if
rip
you're
to those
smart,
guys.
I think you can figure out why. Dead ninjas.
I wonder what happened to them.
A lot of dead ninjas. All present know what that means. Wolverine has arrived.
Yes.
And while Shingen is ready for his standoff with the hero, after his encounters with the man, Nibiru is ready to get gone.
You don't say.
Yeah, fair enough.
He's actually got a good point.
He grabs his wife's hand and drags her along towards a waiting helicopter, ignoring her protests. That's when Logan chooses to show himself, none too happy with the way Mariko is being treated. He'll like what happens next even less. Nibiru puts his gun to his wife's head, threatening to fire if Logan doesn't step into the light. He cooperates, only to get shot, but vengeance isn't far behind for Nibiru. 1, 2, 3 throwing knives embed themselves in his back, and Nibiru falls forward to the ground, dead. Yukio's not done, though. She lunges forward, slicing the obi of Mariko's kimono in two to wrap around Wolvie's wound. She wants to stay, to fight with him, but it's a no-go. Still, after saving Mariko's life, the scales are at least somewhat balanced, so he just lets her go.
Okay.
Sure.
And then Logan too leaves, off to confront Shingen. He finds the man before the family swords, ready to fight him proper now. With barely an exchange of words over whether Logan is worthy, the fight is on. They lunge by one another, each managing a slice, though Wolvie's wound is far worse. But it doesn't matter, and it doesn't stop him from lunging back in, blocking blows with his own adamantium-laced limbs where necessary, if it means getting in blows at Shingen. The fight is risky, and both nearly lose their heads several times in the fray with wide, sweeping strikes.
This is... John!
They're doing it!
It's doing it!
They're doing the thing!
There's, no dialogue
There's
in
a
these
dialogue.
pages.
And they finally did it! They've achieved it!
And it looks so good.
Yes!
I love it. I love the layout of this page.
This is the thing we've been talking about for so long now. When they have the good art, and they let the art tell the story. And that's all that's necessary.
Especially because this is a fight scene.
Yeah.
There is no text necessary to convey this.
You don't need to have the two combatants quibbling over philosophy or whatever.
God.
It's sad, especially since even that old art can be beautiful.
Yeah.
But you don't need them to talk.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense for wordy characters like Spider-Man to be talkative. But sometimes the fight is the thing.
I was going to say, Wolverine is the perfect candidate for this.
Oh, yes.
Just shut up and fight.
Mm-hmm.
No, I love this.
Finally, after ducking below a swipe from Wolverine, Lord Shingen lunges in, stabbing him through the gut. He thinks he's got him now, bringing his sword down towards his neck, but Logan grabs the blade before grabbing Shingen by the lapel, seeing blood as he unceremoniously pops his claws.
Woof.
Finishing the old man off. It's now that Mariko makes herself known, stepping over to her father to grab the sword. Tradition dictates that they're enemies for the rest of their days. But Logan remains still, waiting on his love to make her first move. But she bears him no enmity. Her father, by his actions, brought shame upon the family, the opposite of everything Masamune's sword was supposed to represent. And so, despite it being a priceless family possession, in light of his actions, Mariko offers the family sword to him, and the pair embrace.
Uh-huh.
Huh.
She then explains the wisdom granted her by the ancestors, or at least her decision. Had Logan died, she'd have killed Shingen and then taken her own life by seppuku because Japan. His behavior was unacceptable, had to be dealt with, and it was her job. So big thanks.
Thanks for killing him, because...
Thanks for killing my dad.
Yeah.
They head off into the mountains for a while as Logan heals, but come spring, the X-Men get a surprise letter, or rather, a wedding invitation, courtesy of... the Emperor himself.
Oh.
His Imperial Majesty Hirohito, Emperor of Japan, requests the pleasure of your company at the wedding of Lady Mariko of Clan Yashida to Logan.
To Logan.
Logan includes a P.S. to Kurt to not forget the beer.
Bring beer. Okay.
How'd y'all like that?
Not as much as the last one. The fight scene was really, really good, though.
Yeah.
I was going to say 3, but just for those couple pages of fight scene, I'll give it another 4.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm at a 4. What do you think CMRO thought?
4.3?
5.
4.41.
Ooh. It is hard to get a score that high.
Mm-hmm.
Last up is the B story from Classic X-Men 44.
Huh.
Written by Dun Dun Dun.
Oh no.
And Nascenti.
Oh no. We haven't been here in a while. We haven't done a Classic X-Men in ages.
Penciled by Kieran Dwyer. Inked by Hilary Barta. Colored by Glynis Ween. And lettered by Joe Rosen with a cover by Steve Lytle. Not that it has anything to do with what we're going to read,
Yeah.
but hey.
It's a nice cover, though.
Yeah. A young, fearless rogue sits on the handlebars of a boy's bike as he pedals, fearless and carefree. Suddenly the boy hits a bump, sending Rogue tumbling. She lands gracefully enough under the circumstances, impressing the boy, who rushes over to her side to try to sweep her low for a kiss. She might be interested in boys, but judging by her face, old Freddy here isn't doing it for her.
Not this boy.
And she flips him on his ass, despite his protests that kissing is fun. He asks her to meet later at the cliff, but Rogue refuses, stubbornly turning her back on the boy. He's not so sure, though. He still thinks she's going to show.
Sure.
As Freddy rides off, a woman climbs out of one of the cars in the driveway and approaches the girl, legs shape-shifting to Mystique's.
Oh.
Yep.
When she approaches Rogue, the girl is so lost in blowing the floof off dandelions that she's startled, accusing Mystique of spying on her.
For a second, I thought it was going to be another, almost certainly always heel-wearing woman.
Nope, it's Mystique flossing her butt crack with her costume.
Yeah, that's what she's... Wait, is that costume, or is that...
That's costume.
I know, but, like, how do her powers work? Because...
We don't have time to get into that conversation.
Because
the shapeshifter clothes conversation is not something we can do right now.
Okay, but we're going to have... Look, the more we see her, eventually we're going to have to get into it.
Would you rather she was naked, like in that one X-Men movie?
I mean, that's the question, though. Is she naked? Is the clothes clothes?
No, listen. I just said we're not getting into this. So if she shapeshifts clothes, does that count as clothes or skin?
Well, if you cut it, would she be hurt?
I don't know.
If you pinned a badge to her outfit...
Can she shapeshift into inanimate objects or just people?
Can she take off parts of her outfit?
That was a legitimate question.
Just people, I believe.
Just people. That means it's skin. Because she can't turn into objects.
But we do see her costume tattered and torn at times.
Maybe she can, like, maybe
it's
the
like
costume,
shed?
No, maybe the costume is real, and she can just shapeshift the costume.
Huh.
To be other clothes.
Maybe they haven't figured out exactly what she does yet when it comes to clothes.
I don't think they've ever thought about it, ever.
This is the stuff I think about.
I'm aware.
Well, Rogue is at that age where she accuses Mystique of spying on her, but she's also at the age where she needs to be warned away from boys. Though in her case, it's a little more complicated than the usual. She literally can't touch them.
Ah.
Besides, there's a mission Misty needs her help for. But Rogue doesn't want to hear any of it. The girl runs off, dissolving into tears, crying that nothing matters to her more than love and play.
Alright.
You know, the first time we met her, she was kind of old-looking.
Yeah. Ripley mentioned that.
Yeah, they really retconned that hard, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Mystique calls after her to stay away from Freddy, but there's not so much as a peep back from Rogue. On the other hand, Destiny finally steps out from the shade of the front porch, cautioning her wife that she's going to lose her eventually. I'm just going to call her wife, because fuck it.
I mean, they are, though.
They're here raising a child together.
I mean, they were literally living together, and...
It's confirmed canon at this point.
Right.
At this point in time, it is confirmed that they are married, so I don't see any point in dancing around it.
I feel justified.
It's a neat trick Chris could play on the Comics Code by just portraying queer people without actually saying it.
Yeah, but that's kind of historically accurate.
That's true.
They're just like...
they're confirmed... That's a confirmed bachelor.
Yeah.
And his friend, another confirmed bachelor.
Right.
And they own a house together.
With one bedroom.
And one bedroom, and the house is in both their names.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. They're confirmed bachelors.
What's it called? A Boston wedding? Destiny finally cautions her wife that she's going to lose her eventually. The words Mystique doesn't want to hear, worried about protecting her daughter, and alright, yes, fine, maybe a little jealous too. Or a lot jealous, proclaiming that after she's come back broken, she'll need her all the more.
Oof.
Normal.
Well, not all parents are healthy.
Add Mystique to the bad parents bingo board.
I
don't know about bad parents, but parent of the year.
I mean, we've met worse parents.
We have,
but I also wasn't expecting her to be the best.
No. Rogue and Freddy sit on a cliffside, just chilling. It's a local hangout, complete with a half-dry-rotted old rope swing. Kids, specifically boys, swing on for dares. Girls have never swung on the rope before.
Gasp.
And Freddy warns Rogue away from it, but she's daring, leaping out over the cliff and hanging upside down, teasingly calling for rescue.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, save me, save me.
Already sweet on this girl, Freddy takes her up on the offer, scooping her out of the air and leaning in for a kiss. But Rogue's not interested, shoving him away. Right up until he dares her. We all know there's no backing down now.
Ugh.
What are you, chicken?
Fucking Marty McFly over here.
Yeah.
So Rogue leans in herself and their lips meet. Almost immediately, she knows she's made a mistake.
Yep.
As Freddy falls limp to the ground, Rogue's world turns inside out, the girl barely holding on to the rope by the legs. As she hangs there, she's overcome by Freddy's memories. The good, the bad, the ugly of it all. Christmas puppies, cigarettes.
Putting down a horse?
Putting down a horse.
Yeah. Apparently his dad put down a horse in front of him with a shotgun. Cool. What the fuck?
Cool.
Secretly witness Klan rallies and more.
What is this life?
Superman!
Well, seeing Superman in the mirror.
When she finally falls back down to the ground, luckily safely atop the cliff, Rogue just cries for a long time, upset by what happened and overwhelmed by the rush of memories. Where he'll be coming to any time now, she gets to her feet and runs off, leaving Freddy to awaken alone. By the time she gets home, the girl is at least putting on a brave face, doing her best to pretend nothing is wrong. Wolfing down cookies, she announces she's ready to go on that mission. In fact, desperate to go. She'll do anything. How'd y'all like that?
I'll give it 1 dead horse out of 5. But
out of 5 dead horses?
Yes. There was only the 1.
4. It's enjoyable.
At least a 3. I didn't expect this from Ann Nesenti.
Yeah, this was surprisingly coherent for Anne.
Yeah, like the fact that it told a story, for example, that it told a story we were able to follow. Congrats, Anne.
You did it.
You did it. You did the bare minimum. You have not always done that in the past. Yeah, 3.5.
Yeah, I'll go with 3.5. I rather liked that. What do you think CMRO thought?
I actually saw. I'm not putting
4?
No.
Oh.
2.81.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't get it. Why did CMRO not... Do they not like old lesbians?
No. CMRO has bad opinions. We know this.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, that's what I've got for you guys this week, and it's going to be a short one.
It's not the end of the world if it's a short one. That's what happens when the art dictates the story.
Yeah, I'm going to have to start writing more when we get to that point.
Or...
It's fine to have a short episode once in a while.
Or...
We don't have a length requirement.
Or we add an extra comic to the... If it's a regular thing. Although that would screw up your schedule.
That would screw up my schedule. We can't have that.
Yeah. You don't have to get wordy, though.
Anyway, that's it for us this week. That's what we've got. So let's,
do our,
outro.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Make sure to hit the buttons down below. Like, subscribe, and hit that bell button. Leave comments if you like old lesbians.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, yeah. Did you know that every time you... I don't actually know if it's every time, but when someone says subscribe in the video, it actually lights up.
It does, yeah.
It does?
It does.
Wow.
They actually did that.
They did.
They did do that.
That is adorable.
Yeah. I spent so much time in like full screen that I never knew until I was, by chance, not.
Mm-hmm.
See, I don't pay attention because a lot of the time I'm watching either on the PS5 or on my phone.
No, I get you.
Where I'm not looking at it because I'm at work.
But on PC, in a web client, you say subscribe and the subscribe lights up.
So do that.
Yes, so click it.
Click the shiny button you know you want to.
You want to click the shiny button. Monkey Brain says click on the light up button.
Subscribe. Subscribe.
I don't know if it does it that fast, but...
But apparently that does encourage people to subscribe.
I mean, yeah.
Anyway, thanks for indulging us for that. We're also on social media, Tumblr, Twitter, and Facebook largely. Find us any of those 3 places under Comicsplaining. If you want to throw the show a couple bucks, we're over on Coffee. And aside from that, we're going to get out of here with this sub-hour episode.
Woo!
It's been a while.
Speedy.
That's it for us. Bye.
Bye.